Shabbat Shalom. This coming Shabbat, we read the Torah portions of Netzavim and Vayelech. We are at the end of the narrative. Literally, this is Moses' last gasp, if you will. Moses' last speech to the people. And in Netzavim, it's the moment where there is the renewal of the covenant. And there's so many important things that are written in the text at the renewal of this covenant. Not the least of which is the fact that the text specifically tells us that it's not just the Jews who stood there at that moment, or who stood at Sinai, who are entered into the covenant, but everybody in the community, everybody who wasn't there at the moment, who's also entered into the covenant, generations to come. It's a very important moment. It's our link, our connection. And yet, it's a connection in a moment that we don't easily define. We don't always know what it means to be a part of the covenant. But perhaps at the very beginning of the Torah portion, we get a little bit of a hint. The Torah portion begins with Moses saying that everybody is gathered here today to listen to the word, to renew the covenant. And in this very small moment, it says, Mechotev eitzecha ad shoev meimecha, the wood chopper and the water gatherer, if you will. It is this non-hierarchical moment in the Torah, which is ironic or odd, because oftentimes the Torah is very much hierarchical. The ancient commentators tell us that the reason it mentions these people is that they were probably not Jewish, but they were people who were a part of the community, and they too were becoming a part of the covenant. I think it's a little bit different, though. I think the thrust of the reason it takes the time to point this particular passage out is to remind us that, yes, the leaders of the people will lead the people and do amazing things for them. But ultimately, the community will only be sustained if everybody is participating, if everybody is working, is strengthening one another. Even those tasks that might seem like the physical labor tasks, the, if you will, apologetically, the menial tasks, even those people, everyone's a part of the community. Every task needs to be done. We've watched as hurricanes have ravaged our country. And perhaps the silver lining is when we see people of all races, creeds, religion, doesn't matter, stages, economic stages in life, work together to help us to rebuild. That's the covenant. A covenant of equality. A covenant of everybody mattering. And that's, I think, the eternal lesson of this week's Torah portion. Shabbat Shalom.